They don't make humans like this anymore. April 12, 2013, Staples Center, 9:47 p.m. The sound echoes through the arena like a gunshot. Pop. Everyone hears it. Players on both benches freeze. Fans in the first row cover their mouths. Commentators go silent mid-sentence. Because that sound means one thing in basketball. Career over. Achilles tendon completely ruptured. The injury that ends careers, that destroys athletes, that sends grown men to the ground screaming in agony. Kobe Bryant hears the pop, feels his leg give out, knows immediately what just happened. And instead of collapsing, instead of screaming, instead of waiting for the stretcher that every other player in NBA history would need, he does something that defies human logic. He limps to the free throw line, drains both shots with a torn Achilles tendon hanging by threads, then walks off the court under his own power while 18,997 people watch in stunned disbelief. The Warriors bench doesn't celebrate the injury. They sit frozen, silent, processing what they're witnessing. Because this isn't basketball anymore. This is something beyond competition. This is the human while refusing to acknowledge physical limitation. This is Mamba Mentality in its purest, most brutal form. And what happens in the 90 seconds after that pop becomes the single greatest display of toughness basketball has ever seen. April 12, 2013, regular season final stretch. Lakers versus Warriors, playoff seeding on the line. Both teams fighting for position. The Lakers are in crisis mode, decimated by injuries all season, barely clinging to the 8th seed. Every single game matters. Kobe Bryant is 34 years old, playing 45 minutes per night, carrying a broken roster on his back, averaging 27 points per game despite his body screaming for rest. The Lakers need this win desperately. Warriors need it too. Stakes are maximum. Intensity is championship level, even though it's April. The game is brutal, physical, competitive. Warriors playing young and hungry. Stephen Curry emerging as a star. Klay Thompson developing. Harrison Barnes athletic and aggressive. Lakers grinding with veterans. Pau Gasol battling injuries. Steve Nash barely functional. The roster held together by Kobe's refusal to let the season die. Fourth quarter arrives. Lakers down 3, 5:47 remaining. Kobe has 34 points already, carrying the offensive load like he's done all season, attacking relentlessly despite exhausted legs. 4:23 remaining. Lakers down 2. Kobe brings the ball up, surveys the defense, attacks baseline. Harrison Barnes defends, physical but legal, cutting off the angle. Kobe plants his left foot hard, preparing to change direction, explode back toward the middle. The moment his foot hits the floor, the pop happens. 9:47 and 23 seconds PM exactly. The sound cuts through arena noise. Distinct, unmistakable, horrifying. Kobe's left leg buckles. The Achilles tendon strained beyond capacity by months of 45-minute games, by carrying offensive burden at 34 years old, by refusing to rest when his body needed it. Finally ruptures completely. The tendon separate from the heel, snaps like an overstretched rubber band, leaving Kobe's calf muscle detached. Useless, his foot unable to push off properly. He stumbles, catches himself from falling, transitions to hopping on his right leg. The pain is immediate, searing, catastrophic. But his face shows nothing. No scream, no grimace, just cold assessment of what just happened. Warriors players nearest to him stop immediately. Harrison Barnes backs away, hands up, recognizing injury. Stephen Curry on the sideline stands up, seeing Kobe's movement change, understanding something catastrophic just occurred. The arena noise drops from roar to murmur. Fans who've watched basketball for decades know that pop sound, know what it means. No careers end with that noise. Commentators go silent, waiting to see what happens next, expecting Kobe to go down, expecting medical staff to rush the court with a stretcher. Kobe hops twice on his right leg, keeping weight completely off his left. The pain is blinding, radiating up his leg, his brain screaming at him to stop moving, to sit down, to get help. Every medical instinct says collapse, protect the injury, don't make it worse. Kobe ignores all of it. He looks at the referee. Foul was called on the play. 2 free throws. And in that moment, Kobe Bryant makes a decision that defies everything rational about human physiology. He's shooting these free throws, both of them, with a completely torn Achilles tendon. He hops toward the free throw line. 1 hop, 2, 3. Each landing sends shockwaves of pain through his body. Lakers training staff starts moving toward him. Kobe waves them off. "I'm shooting." The head trainer tries to intervene. "Kobe, you need to sit down. We need to look at that." Kobe's response is immediate, final. "I'm shooting these free throws. Then I'll deal with it." The tone leaves no room for argument. Medical staff stops, helpless, watching their franchise player do something medically inadvisable, dangerous, potentially career-ending if the injury worsens. But they can't stop him. Nobody can. Kobe reaches the free throw line, hops into position. The left leg hangs useless, unable to bear weight, the calf muscle visible through his sock bunched up higher than normal because the Achilles isn't holding in place anymore. He positions himself for the free throw, using only his right leg for balance. The entire arena is silent now. Not quiet, silent. 18,000 people holding their breath, watching something unprecedented, unable to process what they're seeing. First free throw. Kobe receives the ball from the referee, sets his feet, right leg planted, left leg barely touching the floor for balance, but providing zero power, zero push. His entire shooting motion must come from upper body strength and right leg drive alone. The mechanics are completely wrong, unbalanced, physically impossible by normal standards. He goes through his routine anyway. 2 dribbles, deep breath, focuses on the rim, right leg bends, body elevates, arms extend, follow through perfect despite catastrophic injury 3 feet below. The ball rotates cleanly. Arc perfect. Swish. First free throw made. With a torn Achilles, the arena erupts. Not celebration. Something deeper. Awe. Disbelief. Recognition that they're witnessing something that transcends sports. Warriors bench sits frozen. Stephen Curry shakes his head slowly, not in disrespect, in stunned acknowledgement. Klay Thompson stares, mouth slightly open. Head coach Mark Jackson stands motionless, processing. Even the Warriors fans in attendance aren't cheering. They're watching history that defies biology. Second free throw. Ball comes back to Kobe. Same routine. 2 dribbles. Deep breath. The pain hasn't decreased. If anything, it's worse now, adrenaline fading, body recognizing the catastrophic damage, screaming for him to stop. Kobe focuses on the rim. Right leg bends again. Body elevates. Arms extend. Follow through identical to the first. Swish. Both free throws made. With a completely ruptured Achilles tendon. Perfect execution under impossible circumstances. The arena explodes again. Fans standing, not cheering for points, cheering for willpower. For toughness beyond comprehension. For the refusal to let injury dictate moment. Kobe doesn't acknowledge the applause, doesn't raise his arms, doesn't celebrate, just turns toward the Lakers bench, begins the process of getting off the court. And here's where the legendary moment becomes immortal. He walks, doesn't wait for help, doesn't collapse, doesn't let teammates carry him, walks under his own power. Each step is agony. The left leg can't push off properly, the Achilles torn, the connection between calf and heel severed. But Kobe forces the leg forward anyway, dragging it, compensating with right leg strength, using core muscles to stabilize, willing his body to move when every signal says stop. Step, drag, step, drag, across the court toward the bench. 10 feet, 15 feet, 20. Warriors players watch in complete silence. No trash talk, no celebration, just silent acknowledgement of something beyond basketball. Kobe reaches the sideline. Training staff surrounds him immediately. He sits finally, allows them to examine the injury, allows reality to set in. The Achilles is completely torn. Season over, possibly career over. Surgery required immediately. 9 months minimum recovery. At 34 years old, many players never return from this injury. But sitting on that bench, Kobe's face shows no despair, no fear, no regret. Just cold acceptance of what happened and immediate mental preparation for the comeback that will follow. Lakers lose the game. Final score doesn't matter. Warriors win, secure playoff positioning, move forward. But nobody in that building is talking about the final score. They're talking about 90 seconds. Pop, 2 free throws. Walk off. The sequence replays on every sports network for weeks. Analysts debate whether he should have shot those free throws, whether walking was medically safe, whether the risk was worth it. The debate misses the point entirely. This wasn't about points. This wasn't about winning one April game. This was about principle, about refusing to show weakness even when your body is catastrophically damaged, about maintaining control of the moment when everyone expects collapse, about defining toughness on your own terms regardless of medical logic. Kobe Bryant hit those free throws and walked off because surrendering to injury in that moment, showing vulnerability in front of opponents and fans, was unacceptable to him. The body was broken. The mentality wasn't. And mentality dictated behavior. Years later, 2016, Kobe's final season. A reporter asks about the Achilles injury, about those free throws, about the walk-off. Kobe's response is immediate, matter of fact. I wasn't leaving on a stretcher. That wasn't an option. The tendon was torn, I felt it happen, knew what it meant. But I had 2 free throws to shoot. So I shot them. Then I walked off. That's not toughness. That's just refusal to give opponents the satisfaction of seeing you broken. Mind over body. Always. The reporter pushes. But medically, walking could have made it worse. Kobe shrugs. Could have. Didn't care. I wasn't getting carried off my home court. The injury already happened. Walking didn't change that. But how I left that court, that was my choice. And I chose to walk. That's Mamba mentality. Control what you can't control. Everything else is noise. Stephen Curry is asked about that night during a 2018 interview. He pauses, remembers clearly. I was on the bench when it happened. Heard the pop. Saw him buckle. Everyone thought he was done. Thought we'd see him on a stretcher. Then he shot free throws. Made both. Walked off. I've never seen anything like it. We didn't celebrate. We just sat there processing what we witnessed. That moment taught me more about mental toughness than any practice drill ever could. The body said stop. The mind said finish. The mind won. April 12th, 2013, 9:47 p.m. Pop Achilles torn. Career hanging by a thread. Kobe Bryant shoots 2 free throws. Makes both. Walks off the court under his own power. 90 seconds that define an entire mentality. 90 seconds that prove toughness isn't about avoiding injury. It's about controlling your response when injury is inevitable. The Warriors didn't celebrate that night. They sat in silence, watching a competitor refuse to surrender to biology. And that silence, that acknowledgement from opponents, that's the ultimate respect. Not for the points, not for the wins, for the unwillingness to break even when the body is shattered. If you want the real stories of mental toughness that transcend basketball, the moments where mind-dominated matter, the 90 seconds that defined legends, subscribe to The Real Game. We break down willpower at its absolute limit. New stories every week. This is where toughness is measured in steps taken when walking is impossible.